Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with part two of my, top 10 singers slash vocalist series. In this one, I'm going to be talking about bands that some people consider metal and some don't. So you decide in the comments below if you think these bands are metal or not. Of course, I will give my opinion on it. So let's go ahead and get into the list. Number 10, who we're going to talk about, is Mr. Klaus Mine of the Scorpions. I don't have one of their proper albums. I just have this silly greatest hits thing, but whatever. It still counts. Personally, I think they are a band that can be, kind of classified either way. As either, metal or hard rock. I think they fall slightly more on the metal side, but I can definitely see why some people would just consider them hard rock. But that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is, I think Klaus has an absolutely fantastic voice. It's a very soaring kind of thing, and it really helps carry the music and get you going, right? So there's that. Okay, so that's number 10. Number 9 is Michael Poulsen of Volbeat. Again, this is another one of those bands to where we can debate, is this hard rock or is this metal? I think this falls a bit more on the metal side, right? But I can definitely see why somebody would only consider them hard rock. So there you go, number 9. Number 8. This is a comedy act, and they do use a lot of metal imagery, but their music, I would say, definitely is not much on the metal side. They talk a lot about it and they sing about it, but I don't think they're there any metal. But I just figured I'd throw them on this list. Of course, that has Tenacious D, Jack Black. I think he actually has a pretty good voice that really suits, Tenacious D's style exceedingly well. I think probably one of my favorite things about his voice is just even the way he sings is funny. Like you can tell that his intonations, the way he pronounces things, and as he's singing all that is meant to be funny and humorous, not like a quote serious song. Like he just does it with like humorous, reckless abandon and absolutely fantastic Tenacious D. So there you go. Moving on to number, I guess this would be 7 here, would be Dave Weindorf of Monster Magnet. I know I've talked about this band a lot in a lot of my videos. This, I definitely think, falls onto the hard rock side, although some consider them metal. I don't myself, but they've been called that. But I think Dave has an absolutely fantastic voice, real deep, and just fits this style of music incredibly well. Absolutely fabulous frontman, I think. So there you go. Moving on. Next one. This guy has I would say, he's definitely higher in the register than the last guy I just showed, but I think he's awesome. And again, this band could be argued to be hard rock or metal. And I'm talking about Whitfield Crane of Ugly Kid Joe. And that guy his voice is absolutely top notch. Fantastic. One of the best singers out there, in my opinion. Okay. So here we are, about to break through to halfway on the list, number 5. On the list is Corey Glover of Living Color. Kind of rhymes, right? Yeah, Corey has an absolutely killer, voice, in my opinion. The emotion that he just throws out there is just fantastic. The guy is A+ in my book. And again, of course, it could be debated: are they metal or not? I think they fall more on the metal side, but I can hear the argument how they may not be metal. But to me, I think they're more on that side, but it is debatable. All right. Number 4 is going to be somebody you may or may not expect. I would say this band is much more firmly on the metal side. And this artist is more on the metal side, although I definitely see the argument to call this guy a rock artist slash singer slash band. And of course, I'm talking about Twisted Sister and D. Snyder. I think he has a very forceful voice, very powerful, and he always puts his all into his performances. There you go. D. Snyder is my number 4. Number 3 is kind of similar to D. Snyder in a lot of ways, I think. And I think now this guy he's had an incredibly long career, and he's done a huge variety of different styles over his career, sometimes doing metal, a lot of times not. So you already might know who this is. And of course, I'm talking about Alice Cooper, and I'm showing probably the most metal album he ever did. Alice we all know what Alice Cooper's voice sounds like. It's absolutely amazing. He's done such a huge variety of styles. And I didn't realize really how similar he was to D. Snyder until I was listening to a D. Snyder solo album. Because listening to Twisted Sister, I never heard really any similarity between him and Alice. But on some Twisted Sister, or not, I'm sorry, D. Snyder solo material, he sang a lot more like Alice than he usually does. And then I went back and listened to some cover versions that he did of some Alice Cooper songs, and oh my God, it was eerie how similar he was. So, but anyway, that's number 3, Alice Cooper. I have nothing but praise for Alice as well. Totally a groundbreaking artist overall. Rock or metal would not be the same without him. So there's number 3. Okay, the top 2, you may already know who it is, considering the theme of what this list has been so far. The top 2, we could easily flip them, but I did have to put them in order somehow. So number 2, I'll just throw it up. Chris Cornell, of course, most famously of Soundgarden. And, well, talk about emotion. Holy crap. The guy's full of it, his singing range, incredible. The power of his vocals, all those things. Wow. All I can say about Chris Cornell and his abilities as a singer is wow, right? It's too bad that he's gone. It would have been interesting to see, how Soundgarden, what musical things they may have done in the future, but unfortunately, we'll never know. So there you go. There's that. And number 1, you're probably going to guess this, especially considering who the number 2 pick was. Drum roll, of course. Blah. Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, right? I personally do consider Alice in Chains somewhat. Again, sometimes they do rock, sometimes they do metal. So I think this is perfect for this list, right? What can I say about Lane's voice that hasn't already been said? The man is an absolute legend as far as a singer goes. I think him and Chris basically equals, as far as singing ability goes. Styles are slightly different. I slightly prefer Lane's style, not by much, just by a hair. And so obviously I had to put him on top. Now, one thing I do want to say about Alice in Chains is I also think that William Duvall, their current singer, has an incredible voice as well. I've listened to him a lot, and he sounds awesome. What I think is a real tragedy is that Jerry Cantrell on the newer Alice in Chains albums basically handles lead vocal duties. And I'm like, I mean, Jerry has a good voice. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy Jerry Cantrell's voice, but I do think that William Duvall is a better singer than Jerry Cantrell. That's just my opinion. And I think they're honestly wasting his talent a bit. I really wish that William Duvall was more front and center on the new Alice in Chains albums vocally. And now I know he plays guitar in the band, but I think it's a wasted opportunity for Alice in Chains because the guy is absolutely amazing in his vocal chops, right? And if you've ever listened to live footage of William Duvall singing the Lane Staley song, holy shit, he can nail Lane Staley's parts. He just nails them. Guy's absolutely awesome, and I wish that they would give him much more lead vocal duties on the albums than what they've been doing. So, anyway, that's basically it for this list. I hope you guys liked it. Because obviously the theme was metal or not, and I think I did pretty well. This list wasn't too hard to make because the vast majority of my music in my collection is either strictly on the metal side or strictly on the non-metal side. There's not a lot that kind of, goes between the two. So since I have a limited amount of that stuff, this list wasn't that bad to make. Now, my next list, where I actually just do the top 10 metal singers, oh my God, that's going to be tough because I have so much metal in my collection, and there are so many vocalists that I like quite a bit. So, that might be a top 10-ish again for sure, rather than just 10. We'll see, and that's basically it. I hope you guys like this. As always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking. I'll see you guys next time.